Hello, this is Mr. Wallace yet again with some more math videos and math help. This is Unit 3 of Algebra 1. This is page 31. We are doing a Level 2 review. Level 2 review. We're going to do numbers 10, and I'm going to flip the page and do 11 and 12. So we're doing numbers 10, 11, and 12. All right, Level 2, here we go. Given our functions f and g, so we got two different functions. They are defined by the following equations. Find the following. You can and should use Desmos here. We can use Desmos, but we're just going to use algebra in this case. You can use Desmos. The g of -4, what that means is we are using only our g function over here. All right, we are not using f at all because we're only using g, so we can kind of ignore that one for now. That -4 means it is my input. That means it is my x value. All right, so when g is -4, I'm going to plug that -4 into that x there. It's going to be negative. And then I have -4 to the third power plus 9. Now, this is where Desmos will really come in handy. If you plug that in exactly into Desmos, it will give you the answer. You can use a calculator also. So here we go. -4 is my x value. Notice that the x goes away. I just put in -4 because that's my input. -4 times -4 times -4. So it's -4 times itself 3 times. -4 times -4 is positive 16. Positive 16 times -4 is -64. So I cubed -4. Cubed is the power of 3. Got -64. But look, that subtraction sign, that minus sign outside the parentheses, that didn't get touched, so that drops down. I have plus 9 at the end. Well, these two negatives now back to back cancel out, so it's a positive 64. Sorry, I'm running out of room. Positive 64. 64 plus 9, 73. So what this means is when my x value is -4, my y value is 73. That's a pretty crazy coordinate. Okay, here we go. Letter B. I have f, so I'm using my f function now. I'm not using my g function at all. I'm just focusing on f. My input is -3. So what that means is that -3 gets put in not only to that x, but both x's. Got to please be aware that that -3 is going to be put in wherever there's an x value. All right, so here we go. 8, and then I have -3 squared, because remember I have the square right there, minus 7 times -3 there. So this is a huge order of operations, knowledge problem right here. We have to follow PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So what this means here is we do not multiply 8 times -3 first. Order of operations, exponents come before multiplication. So I have to square that -3. So it's -3 squared, which is -3 times -3, which is positive 9. All right. And then I have -7 here times -3, so that -3 gets put into the x. These two negatives, -7 times -3, turn into a positive, so that's going to be plus 21. Now I can multiply this 8 times 9, which is 72. 72 plus 21, that is 93. That's a big one. All right. Okay, here we go. We're using our g function again. Only letter g, not letter f. 10 is my x value, so 10 is my input. So it's going to be negative, and then I'm putting my 10 in for my x. There's my cubed, and then plus 9. Please know, I am not cubing that negative. I'm not raising to the power of 3 that negative. It's only in the parenthesis when I'm doing an exponent of 3. So it's 10 times 10 times 10. If we can use Desmos or a calculator, 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. Now I drop down that negative. Now the negative is out in front of the parentheses, so that's the same thing as -1,000. -1,000 plus 9, I'm going to try to do this mental math here, is -991. All right, if you plug that into Desmos or a calculator, it's 1,000 in the negative, 9 more in the positive, so -991 is our answer for that one. All right, I'm going to move my little level 2 here, sorry. All right, last one for number 10. We're using my f function. 9 is my input, and so that's going to be 8. And then I have 9 in my parenthesis, squared, minus 7, and then 9 again. So that 9 is going to go into both of these x's, kind of like what we did before. We have to follow order of operations. That squared just goes to that 9, so that's 9 times 9. 9 times 9 is 81. That 8 gets dropped down. What that means is now we're going to be multiplying that. Negative 7 times 9 is negative 63. And just so I know, I don't want to mislead you guys, I'm going to use a calculator for this. 8 times 81, I believe that is 648, but let's just check. 81 times 8, yep, is 648. 600, that's a 4, sorry. 648 minus 63. I'm just going to plug that in the calculator too. I can try to mental math it, but for sake of time, our answer of 648 minus 63 is 585. Obviously, a little more complicated than the level 1 questions. These are level 2 function evaluation. This is number 10. All right, let's look at number 11. Look at that. 11 is multiple choice. Here we go. If our function of f of x is 3x squared minus 7x plus 2, that's a trinomial, we'll learn that later, then find f of negative 2. Show your work. Here we go. Kind of just like what we did before. There's a couple more things we have to notice. That negative 2 is my x value. If it sounds repetitive, that's because we got to really know whenever the number's in the parentheses, that's my input. That's what I'm substituting in for x. So here's how I'm going to show my work. This is what I want to tell all our Algebra 1 teachers. Encourage students to do it. Just write it out. Try not to do it in your head. So 3, and then instead of the x, I'm putting my input. So negative 2. So 3, negative 2 in parentheses squared, minus 7. Now instead of the x, I'm going to be putting negative 2 again. And then I have plus 2 over here. That's my constant. That doesn't change. There's no variable there. So now I just use order of operations and I can solve this throughout. So I'm going to rewrite, after simplifying, 3. That squared goes to the negative 2. So negative 2 squared is positive 4 because it's negative 2 times negative 2. That negative 7 times negative 2, that's going to be positive 14. And I have plus 2 at the end. I'm going to multiply these here, still following order of operations. 3 times 4 is 12, and then plus 14 plus 2. Once I have all that simplified, now it is just left to right. 12 plus 14 is 26. 26 plus 2 is 28. So the answer to number 11 is letter A. Okay, I did look up number 12. You do need Desmos for sure, 100% for this question. Using Desmos, graph the function f of x equals 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. That's the same one that we did up there. If you just type in this exactly into Desmos, it'll give you a parabola. A parabola is a U shape. You'll learn way more about that later. So type in exactly 3x squared minus 7x plus 2 into Desmos. You'll see a parabola that opens up, and the question is, where's the minimum point of this graph? So the minimum point is the very bottom point on that graph on Desmos that you're going to get. And then what you do is you hover your cursor over that minimum point. It will give you 1.167 comma negative 2.083. So my x value and my y value are given for my minimum point on my graph using Desmos. Okay, thank you so much.